So I didn't do any editing for this beforehand because I thought that keeping my keeping my original reaction to all of this shit was more interesting than actually cutting it down for the interest of time. So if that's not of interest to you, then I am sorry. But this shit is fucked. So, you know. Holy shit. Alright, so some wacky Chris shit just dropped. Alright. Noel on the Kiwi Farms just posted something today an hour ago about Chris having the hanky panky with his mother. So there was an audio track leaked and 5 sets of text messages. Noel says they are considered genuine. Nobody knew of this except for one person named Bella, a trollsona of someone called 10th Anonymous, who Chris confided this information in. Early this morning, Greene County Police visited the Chandler residence for a wellness check. Just now, Chris was served an emergency protective order until August 5th. He is not allowed at 14th Branchchild Court, his home, until then. He is also not allowed to contact his mother at all. Barbara is at the hospital for a senior care inspection. Chris has someplace to sleep. Noel will be distributing the remainder of the GoFundMe money to him to cover emergency expenses as promised and as legally obligated to him. Oof. Incest is a Class 1 misdemeanor with penalties going up to 1 year in jail, but if it is between a mother and son, it is a Class 5 felony. Class 5 felonies are wobblers, crimes that can be either a felony or a misdemeanor, depending on how the crime is charged, and sometimes how the judge or jury decides to treat a conviction. Class 5 felonies in Virginia are punishable by 1 to 10 years in prison, with a conviction being a felony, or up to 12 months in jail and a fine of $2,500 as a misdemeanor. So, well, shit. I don't think that the homeless saga is going to happen because Chris is going to be in jail for 10 years. So I'm going to go over some of these texts posted by 10th Anonymous, or the trollsona of Bella. Just going ahead and sharing this with you. Fresh experience. Just going ahead and sharing this with you. Fresh experience. On the strictly confidential, just between you and I. So, yes, Barb and I just had another romp in the hay with an extensive cuddle. Tonight, I started looking into a more consistent pattern to my messaging, and I took the input and focused on getting blood flow into the groin area. Before tonight, I didn't really have a set pattern in the massage, aside from feet and legs, followed by hands and arms, the face, front torso, and then a rollover for her back. I've found a more consistent method that works between the legs and arms, but I was inconsistent in the hands and feet. Anyway, I also made another attempt at rubbing her vagina externally at first. then slipping between the lips and rubbing the inner labia. Then she told me to stop. She's getting more used to being played with down there by hand. Would you believe that she has literally never ever masturbated in her entire life? And obviously, those out of the 8 guys, counting Robert Chu before me, were not hitting her G-spot as much with their cock. I had attempted the first night to rub her there, but I found her spot, but it didn't hurt her. Alternatively, I did find that at cunnilingus, I was good at it with my tongue. And I did also stimulate her clit. That doesn't seem to hurt her as much, but she still has a limit with this spot as well. Anyway, we're making progress. And when we cuddle, this actually impresses me more. I literally feel our souls bonding and coming together as one during that time. Damn, it feels so good when that happens. And we talk a good while as well before she heads back upstairs. I have been sending her meditation tracks to stimulate her brain and bring back some of her youth. And the results do show, most splendidly. I am so proud of her. And from the story she told me tonight, she even remembered a fun story that involved her daddy from when she was 2 years old. 2 years old. That in itself at her age is massively good. She has a memory problem, but at the time beforehand, yeah. But she is being better stimulated in her mind and soul, and it really shows. Her mental processing speed is even going back up. She feels this way and has told me so herself. And I am so happy and content that I am able to help her out like this. And it helps me as well because of the Alright, so needless to say, Chris fucked his mom and is going to jail for it. The charge is a Class 5 felony, which means that he could go up to jail, or he could go to prison for up to 10 years. So, I think that it is the end of Chris Jan. This is truly the worst timeline. For a long time, I genuinely thought that there was hope, that there was some semblance of recovery for Chris, but unfortunately that's not the case. He's back to his old ways, and even worse, he abused his mom in ways that no one could have ever imagined. So I'm gonna leave this off by playing some of the clip of the audio that was leaked, I guess, but oh my god. Bruh. This is truly tragic.
So yeah, she's got really sensitive G-spot because apparently I don't believe even Mr. C, any of her past boyfriends and ex-husbands, they haven't really reached and hit her G-spot really with their dicks.
Right.
They were more focused on themselves really, as opposed to focusing on her, which that's my focus.
Right? Yeah, true. But at the convention, make sure to have a lot of fun with. Make sure to have push her with, have a lot of fun with her, right? Because
Obviously.
yeah, because now you're doing this for your mom. Yeah, make sure I'll be there. I'll be there watching you guys, making sure that nobody is trying to. Sorry, my throat. Nobody's trying to hurt you, do anything. I'll take photos of you too. The dance will be awesome. We can take turns. I'd like to dance with her too, and then you guys can take like the slow dance or whatever. And
and all the other scientists thinking for the convention as well.
But how are you feeling, Christine? How are you feeling? Because I know there's a lot of societal pressure on you about this thing with Barbara. There's a lot of societal pressure and a lot of people, consciously who would judge, and there's a lot of eyes on you. It must be very stressful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm so sorry about all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, still, we'll still have Magic Chan and Grizel to dance with.
You always have them. Okay.
The incest fanfics have come true and shit.
I didn't even know there was such a thing. I didn't even know there was incest fanfics. Were there about you and Barbara? I can't believe that. I didn't even think that. I knew that you guys had a good relationship, but I always thought, because I'm not huge on Christery and, whatever, I just thought that the whole Sonetry franchise was very interesting, and that's how I got into you when I was younger, right? But I didn't have any idea that Barbara was, that Barbara and you had that sort of relationship. I never got any of those vibes. But how did you approach her?
approached her with care and caution,
Hmm.
and it was a time approach. So I just gave her comfort and talked with her, and we just branched out slow and steady. And then I encouraged her positively, let her make the first move. She wanted to do it, and
Oh, she did? Really? She made the first move?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow, Barbara. How did she do it, if you don't mind me asking? What was the first move?
I don't remember exactly. Well, that was her first move, but my approach was. I forgot exactly what terminology and approach I used, but I approached with care and caution.
That's good.
And I was direct and upfront with her for the most part.
That's good. And how did she respond when you approached her? What did she say?
I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was I think she was partially confused at one point, but then she came around, obviously, with the more approaching that I was doing with her along the way.
Right. So she got into it. How was the first kiss? You kissed her. How did that feel? Having known this woman for your whole life, how did that feel?
Oh yeah, I mean it was simple lip to lip kiss contact, but yeah, it was actually good and it felt right.
When did you start having feelings for Barbara?
Obviously for a long time. I mean, I remember even mentioning some time ago in one of my videos that I even had dreams where I had sex with her, obviously.
Really?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's right. The Oedipus complex.
Oh, Oedipus, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. How, if you don't mind me asking, I know that's probably personal, you have to answer, but how is the sex?
I'd say it was satisfactory. It took a while. It took a few tries to.
It took a few tries, yeah. She is older.
And plus, also, she's very understanding about the whole thing as well. I was direct with her, still direct and honest with her. I made sure that obviously, I'm never gonna propose marriage to her at all because we're already daughter and mom.
Yeah, mother and daughter. You know, they say there's no stronger bond than a mother and her daughter. Sorry?
We've been doing it every third night, and the first night being on June 27th.
Oh, you have a routine. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, at least you have a stable relationship, because you know it's not going to end. Like, if anything happened, you'd still be mother and daughter. It's not going to like be explosive breakup, right? At least that's comforting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said since June.
It took us a few nights
right.
It took us a few nights to figure out what felt right and what didn't feel right. And
does your mother enjoy it?
She's having a good time. Literally.
She is. She's having a good time.
Especially what we figured out.
That's good to hear. Do you guys act more like mother and daughter, or do you guys act more like, lovers? When, like, say you come home from, the supermarket and you see Barbara, do you say, hey, sweetheart, or do you say, hi, Mom?
Yeah, I haven't called her Mom in quite some time now.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm more often calling her Love at this point.
But you recently started dating Fiona, isn't that's true, right? In an open relationship?
Between Barbara and I, it is an open relationship, and I made that very clear with her.
Right. Is Barbara dating anybody else?
Not.
No? But she's fine with you dating other people, right?
Yeah, she's okay.
Do you guys go on any dates or anything romantic like that?
Well, not anything extravagant, but we do, as often as possible, eat at the dinner table together.
Yeah.
I've never been able to eat much lately because I've had to switch to a soup diet because after getting the crown on my tooth.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, these days.
Right.
And plus, she's still trying to remember her inner child.
Right. That's true, yeah.
Well, so I'm encouraging her towards the positives, and
right.
Being like homemade with
her. Knowing you, Christine, I think that because I understand that she's mature, and she's mature and she's wise, She's wise in her ways. You know, she has experience and she loves you, and you two have a great relationship. But wouldn't you want somebody who's younger, right, and to keep up more with your energy? Yeah, a lot of time with your mom, like whatever you have left with her. That makes sense because you know you don't know how long she has left, so you just wanna you just don't want her to be lonely or anything, right?
Yeah, obviously, but yeah, I still would want somebody who was younger or close to my age. Obviously, I don't know, maybe.
You don't want anyone who's younger?
Not too many others at this time. But I mean, obviously, with my affirmations, I'm attracting my twin flame, and we proceed towards it more slowly.
Sorry, I'm paying the volume for my. I can't. I have a really bad ear because I got sick. Like you can hear from my voice. It's hard to hear anything at all. But I could hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. So anyway, with the events and everything, and I was feeling like I really needed a sexual release. And not too many individuals this side of the arc were coming up to the plate right there. So, and then everything was coming into good alignment, and it was good. The signs were all there, and even Emmanuel, you know, God, just said it was okay, and it matched and got me towards it. And
God said this is okay? Yeah, then you don't have anything to worry about if God himself said this is fine.
Yeah, and so yeah, I gave it lots of time for myself. I was like, okay, so I'll take a dive for it. So.
But how did this happen? How did this come about?
Well, among which just mainly I was really, really horny, and I needed the true and honest relationship to come about. So obviously, this was one of the best ways to do it, despite it being with the. And I don't want to believe in labels at all, but obviously